Hey, tough guy, welcome to Sugar Bookie. No fees, no nonsense, just good old-fashioned football advice poured straight from the tap. Thanks for stopping by to check out my underplays as far as the NFL season win totals board. I've got 3 teams that I really like here. I'm going to start in Las Vegas. I like the Raiders to finish 4th in the AFC West, minus 130. I took the adjusted over-under season win total under 5.5 at plus 220, and their standard under 7, minus 106. This all comes down to, and you're going to hear this quite a bit in the video, incompetent drafting. Look for GM Mike Mayock to be fired around Thanksgiving after a blowout national TV loss to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. It's all Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson guys that are making up the Raiders these days. And I'm not knocking those programs. They're obviously 3 of the best in the nation. But you need to watch tape outside of the top 10 in college football to build an NFL roster. 2 drafts ago, Henry Ruggs over Jerry Jeudy, embarrassing. I know Ruggs is faster, but Jeudy was clearly the better prospect. This past April, Alex Leatherwood at 17 was the most universally panned first-round draft pick. The best player that Mike Mayock has gotten in town from the Khalil Mack trade, running back Josh Jacobs, who's a nice player, but he's not special, not like Khalil Mack is. And might I add, those 4 guys I just talked about, Ruggs, Jeudy, Leatherwood, Josh Jacobs, they all played at Alabama. You see what I'm saying? Free agency losses of Rodney Hudson and Gabe Jackson have gone grossly understated as far as their importance, as far as the potency of this offense. I think David Carr's going to be running for his life. This is a lousy roster overall. Defense, dead last in tackling last year. Raiders defenders allowed more broken tackles than any other unit in the NFL. Lastly, the AFC West is a brutally tough division. Everybody knows Kansas City is going to be good, but the LA Chargers have found their quarterback, and Denver's got a sneaky good defense and still has a monster home field advantage. This is going to be a tough division. I see the Raiders winning somewhere between 3 and 5 games. I like the unders 5.5 and under 7. 4th in the AFC West, minus 130. Cincinnati Bengals to finish 4th in the AFC North at minus 220 may be the best bet on the NFL futures board for 2021. Under 6.5 season wins at minus 122. As far as why I think the Bengals are going to finish last, I'll talk about the other head coaches in the AFC North. 2 Super Bowl champions, Harbaugh in Baltimore and Tomlin in Pittsburgh. The other coach is the reigning NFL head coach of the year, Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland. Cinci has been incompetent in their drafting. Look no further than April when they took Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell. This is a lousy roster, especially at offensive line. Again, Chase over Sewell. Burrow's an injured quarterback who's looked nervous all preseason. I think that extends into the early part of the regular season, and that's a shame. Good for us, but tough for Cincy in that their early, easy schedule is actually a little bit misleading. The back half of their schedule is brutal. After a showdown on Halloween at the New York Jets, I do not see Cincinnati winning a single additional regular season game. That means they go over in November, December, and January. This is a ho-hum coaching staff on the hot seat. Look for Zach Taylor to be gone at year's end. Cincinnati Bengals are in for a really long year. 4th in the AFC North, minus 220. Under 6.5 season wins, minus 122. Again, I know minus 220 isn't fun to hear, guys. That's the reason. It pays. Finally, the Detroit Lions to finish 4th in the NFC North, minus 260. Again, an unsexy number, but unsexy pays. Also under 3.5 over-under season win totals, plus 205, and under 5, minus 125. What don't I like about Detroit? Where to start? Another bad head coaching hire. Dan Campbell wasn't even their first choice of a guy whose name is Campbell. Embarrassing press conferences. They're fun to follow, but the bottom line is they lead to losses, not wins. This is an organization that has a history of bad play. In 2008, not that long ago, a winless season. This is a franchise that is used to losing games in bunches, not to mention a downgrade at QB, Stafford to Goff, Penei Sewell moved over to right tackle. Only the Lions could pull off something like this where you're gifted one of the best left tackle prospects in the last decade. He falls to you, and what do? With a pure left tackle like this? They move him to the right side. It's just mistake after mistake after mistake. Some franchises can't get out of their own way. Jeff Okudah, 3rd overall pick from last year, has shown in a few instances, but for the most part, while the jury is still out, he has not lived up to his draft hype. Tough division with the Vikings and Bears. Everybody knows about the Packers, but the Vikings and Bears are 2 franchises moving in the right direction. Make sure to check out my video on who I'm buying, who I like the overs on heading into this season as far as over-under win totals. Make sure to check out my season props video as well as my Week 1 NFL picks. Like and subscribe. This is Sugar signing off. See you next time. Tough guy.